Hey, you guys, do you know what the difference between you and Jesus Christ is? He knew who he was from a very young age. He knew who he was just like we did. The difference is he had parents that confirmed it. And not only did they confirm it, they allowed it, they guided it, they supplied it, they protected it. Now, look at you, who was made completely in the image of God. And even Jesus said himself, "You will do as I do and more." The only difference between who he was and who we are is that he knew. He knew, and therefore he had an opportunity to step into the realness of his I am from a very young age. And his parents knew that no one would believe it, obviously. And I'm sure at some points they questioned it themselves, but they held the authority and they held space for him to become what he was going to be. And this is exactly what we were born to be. We are the fraction, the fractal of the second coming. And because we are in this new evolutional space, we're all starting to remember. People that are not even religious are walking around with I am's this and I am's that. And I am basically means that you are taking ownership of yourself as God. So we look at our lives and we look at what we see upon the pedestal of what we put the Christ on. And we feel, below, we feel sinned, which means we've missed the mark. We've somehow not lived up to what our birthright truly is. But ultimately, the only difference was he was allowed to be, and you weren't, and I wasn't. And then we reached this time where, we spent 20, 30 years in the spiritual journey, and we know through a logical awareness that we are, because we can feel it. We have this deep inner calling within us. We have this almost painful love for the truth. And a lot of us begin to claim it. If you are one of those who has begun to claim, affirm, decide, choose that you are God, you have entered the next level of this virtual reality game. And that is your 40 days and your 40 nights. People ask me all the time, okay, so you break down the Bible into metaphors of understanding it as basically the treasure hunt to becoming God within the body, right? The embodiment of Christ. Okay, so what is 5D? 5D is God embodied. That is what it is. 3D is you embodied in the world's mind, you in separation. All right. 4D is the bridge. It is the potential. It is where the building blocks are created. It is the journey. And the 5D is really the becoming of the God within. And so ask yourself this. Okay, if you are a Christian or you've been one or you're in, spirit science or whatever, if you are even into Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy and anyone who was teaching about imagination as God, then you understand from an under awareness that even Jesus himself, who knew who he was and knew what he was here to do, still went through 40 days and 40 nights. Why? Have you ever really wondered if he knew who he was and he knew how he was, his state of being was completely there? The reason why he went through his 40 days and 40 nights of starvation and fasting and temptation was because that he had to get the body to submit, because he's half human. The body is 3D, guys. The body is 3D. This is why your body wants to go into giving up its power. The body wants to, eat things that it shouldn't eat. The body wants to conform. The body wants to become attached. The body wants all these things because the body was made in the image of God and then taught very quickly that it wasn't. And so 75 trillion cells that you are sitting with, known as the citizens of the kingdom, are residing in not the kingdom of heaven, but the kingdom of hell. And so the 40 days and the 40 nights was the trial that the Christ had to go through because he was in human form to eliminate all of the old belief systems that had been indoctrinated and given to him through osmosis, through influence, right? Through adaptability, okay? Through, just awareness. We are a byproduct of our environment, right? And so he went through these trials, and so will you. Every one of us is going to go through this. If you are done and you feel like, you know what, I know that I can feel it deep inside of my bones, in my heart. There's this knowing that I am capable of creating on such a bigger level, not just having your guy text you back or, getting a house that you can barely afford because you manifested it, but literally create from a brand new template of the I am, from the omnipresence of your whole entire being. And so 40 days and 40 nights is about getting the body to submit to the I am. Because the body's program says, I am not. And you say, I am. And when you begin to go on that journey and use I am deliberately, not I am, sick, I am broke, whatever, but I am the Alpha, the Omega. I am the beginning of the end. I am rich. I am abundant. I am deserving. I am allowed. I am safe. I am beautiful. I am kind. I am loving. When you start to contradict the body's story that I am not, therefore I need. I am not God, therefore I need God. And whatever you're in need of becomes your God. You need money? Money becomes your God. You need love? The relationship becomes your God. Because whatever it is you're flowing energy to from a lackful space means that you are seeking God to help fill the void, the lack within. So as soon as you start to proclaim, stand up, become in the states of holding those positions, affirming, right, over, and you start to get into that repetitive, you start to counter against this entire system that was built out of I am not. And this is when what I'm seeing in my mentor students this year and in our classrooms, that all hell is breaking loose. But it's not all hell's breaking loose, guys. It's your 40 days and your 40 nights have started. You're going to go through some extreme conditioning because what you're doing is you are in direct opposition of the program. And there are personal programs and there are collective programs. There are society programs. There is gender programs. There is bloodline programs. There is all kinds of programs that are literally in harmony saying, I am not, therefore I need. So look at your needs right now. And are you saying, I am, therefore it's already done, and I'm already living as if in my mind, in my imagination? I am letting go of fear because I know that it's already there. Or are you affirming I am and then looking for evidence in your 3D, looking for evidence in the people, places, and circumstances to affirm that back to you to prove that you're right? But you will not get proof in physical reality because you're going to go through the trials the same. What the Christed story did for us was his death and resurrection was so that when we finally took that I am and authority into our body, we weren't going to have to die in order to resurrect. We were going to be able to do this in a DNA epigenetic way that the DNA is listening to the mind, which is the environment, the story, and it is becoming based on where your attention is, where your focus is, where your direction is, where your dominant core focal point of self is. So if you're insecure, that's where your energy is flowing. If you're in lack, that's where your energy is flowing. If you're scared, that's where your energy is flowing. And when you are in this idea that I am, then you have begun the last leg of your journey to your Christed body, which means that when you finish this 40 days and 40 nights, you will be Christed. And some people get so triggered with the words, but if you understand that all language is code and has meaning underneath, that the word Jesus Christ means I choose my own salvation. Jesus means salvation, right? And Christ means chosen. Choose your own salvation is the last leg of this journey, which means that nobody's going to choose this for you. No one's going to do this for you. This is a me, myself, and I journey. This is a road that you can't buy your way through. This is a feeling and dominant assertion journey, which means when you see no evidence around you, when you see circumstances that are literally against you, you remain, it is done. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Be still and know that I am God. So all of these trials that you're feeling, and I'm getting emails after emails after emails saying, I started affirming I am, and all hell's breaking loose. I'm getting triggered, and I'm getting this, and I'm getting that. And I go, yay, you have entered your 40 days and your 40 nights. And in your 40 days and 40 nights, you are going to meet the 5 Ds before you become the 5D. And what are the 5 Ds? Well, it's the metaphor of the devil. So the 5 Ds that make up the consciousness of devil are doubt, divergence, delay, discouraged, defeat. You will face each one of these in the course of your journey through 40 days and 40 nights, and you will, in all of these, get them to submit to the I am. You will look at defeat and say, absolutely not. That impossible means I am possible. You're going to look at that discourage and say, I am already there. I am already here. I've already arrived. I already have. When you are in delay, you're practicing the wish fulfilled. You're already experiencing it, even though there's a wait time. When you are in divergence, when you are being attacked, when you are being judged, when you are being withheld, when you are being forced, you're saying, go ahead, because I am. I know who I am, and therefore I am. All right? And of course, doubt. Doubt is when you start to feel the dominant power within you, taking authority over your body, and start to live as the God within in your imagination. That's when doubt creeps in. Well, remember last year when you failed? Remember last year when you lost everything? Remember last year when they left you? Remember last year? Remember 5 years ago? Remember yesterday? Remember yesterday you weren't God? What makes you God today? Because the thing is it's not outside the scary. The 3D is your body, because the projector and the reflection and the law of attraction and the law of all of those laws are existing through the material world of the physical body. That is literally only 20% physical and 80% non-physical, but still, it's matter. And therefore, it feels like it matters. And because it is a co-creation to become God as man, God within you has to overthrow Caesar, overthrow the spiritual ego, which is the Pharisee, and move into the house, the Father's house, the kingdom of heaven with the king and the queen, left and right hemisphere, and activate the pineal gland, right, which is the God consciousness. Once that's active, you're going to have superhuman DNA. You're going to have superhuman adrenaline. You're going to have the superhuman testosterone and everything. But you're going to go through what you need to grow through to get the body to submit. And so with that being said, I've been on this journey for a very long time, and I am a biohacker and a scientist by nature. And I have been going through my own 40 days and 40 nights for about a year now. And the reason why it hasn't taken me 40 days and 40 nights is because I wasn't told that I was God. And so, although I believe that viscerally in my heart, the rest of my body doesn't, or at least didn't. And it is a day by day experience. And I will tell you that when you start your 40 days and your 40 nights, if you take the easy route, if you choose fear, if you choose another God outside of you to, make your reality become, if you settle, if you cower, if you cave, the 40 days and 40 nights starts over. And so therefore, once you start your 40 days and 40 nights, I'm sorry if you've already begun this and you don't know where you are, but this is where you are. You will repeat it, which means you will go through Groundhog Day. So look at the areas in your life where you're being fasted. Look at where you're struggling with, doubt. Look at where you're struggling with the 5Ds, which are the devil. And so in order to get to 5D, which is God consciousness embodied, you have to go through the 5Ds. I mean, you can't make this up. This is literally virtual reality. And this should give you some peace. Why I'm telling you this is this should give you peace, that you can stand back and be like, okay, I just needed to know the rules. I just needed to know where I was and what I am actually experiencing, because it's very intoxicating here. It is very hypnotic in the third dimensional reality, which is the body projected out. Everything is you pushed out. Everything is you pushed out. Everyone, everything, every obstacle, every challenge, every lack, every suffering, every monster, every chaos, every grief, every loss, every joy, every love, it's all you pushed out. You're looking at yourself through your lifetime of experiences and memories that have either been life or death. And the parts of you that have died in relationships, the parts of you that have died in business, the parts of you who've died in childhood, those are the parts of you that are suffering, starving, in lack, hungry, needy. And the parts of you that have been on your journey, connecting to the higher power, connecting to the Holy Spirit, connecting to the real you, feel a discord right now because your physical reality is not matching what you are feeling about yourself. And it's disheartening. It's very disheartening. I know, I've been here. I'm going on this journey myself. And so in 2009, I had a Kundalini experience that basically woke up my body to knowing all the secrets of the universe. But I had absolutely no business working in those realms when the human in me was very traumatized by reality. So here I am, a little traumatized child with the secrets of the universe and a platform. And so I began teaching quantum physics, right? Quantum biology, God consciousness, Christ consciousness. And throughout the years, like the only evolution that I can say that I've really occurred is that I am becoming more in unity of the omnious presence I have within me and this smaller version of me that are integrating in. So it's taken me, 12 years to do that until I got real serious. And I got real serious when everybody got real serious, because basically the world is shifting from love to fear, right? Or life to death. And we are feeling like we need to choose. We're feeling like we can't go with the stories that Earth is telling right now. We cannot go with who is in control here. We cannot go with what is happening. This feels so counterintuitive to our nature. True definition of sin is separated in nature. Nature defined means name. Separated from your name, I am God. And when you separate from your name, you do things that you wouldn't do if you were conscious. You wouldn't do if you weren't hungry. You wouldn't do if you weren't suffering. So part of your 40 days and 40 nights is your trials through the 5Ds. Okay. And if you're going, oh no, I'm not experiencing that, then you haven't been affirming that I am God. You haven't, because even people who have been on this journey for 30 years as spiritual leaders are coming to me and wondering why they are stuck in grief cycles. They keep manifesting things over and over again. They're losing things they've had their whole time that wasn't an issue. And again, this isn't a bad thing. It's a video game. And the dragon that you're up against, the big boss here, is if I say I am God, then I'm going to need to meet direct my opposition, which is the 5Ds, aka devil. And the devil is going to be disguised in hitting you below the belt, because it isn't about what you are that the devil's afraid of. It's about you knowing that you are and knowing what it is. Because ultimately, you're going to come to a point where you feel like you are having mental warfare. And really, it's a civil war. It is not, oh, we're out there. You're going to have more conflict with your own mind on this journey than you're ever going to have out there. It's going to feel like you turning against yourself, because the world's mind is the 5Ds of the devil's mind. It is the third dimensional mind. It is the captive mind. It is the slavery mind. It is the, it's hell on earth. It's your bottom 3 chakras that are unresolved or unintegrated. And that's why your heels represent hell and your crown represents heaven. This is your physical body, and this is the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of hell. Based on what story we are projecting, I am not God, therefore I need God, or I am God, therefore it's done, is the reality that we are simultaneously building from the inside of ourselves. Your blood represents, right, the wine from the communion. Your blood represents your mood, okay? And the bread represents thought. So the thought mixed with the mood creates your dominant attraction. And this is why communing with the Christ within daily, choosing your thoughts, choosing your moods, and getting your body to submit is everything. Because this is how it works. You are playing a chess game, which means that on the other side of the veil, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just a game. You go watch a sports team, you may want one team to win because you may be living in that state or living in that town or going to that school, and you want that team to win. But ultimately, they're not bad or good, the ones playing against each other. And so is this. It's the God of creation and the God of destruction playing a game of chess. All right. Now, the God of creation obviously has the upper hand. Obviously. Hello, creation. But destruction works differently with humans. Because, okay, people get usually stronger after destruction outside. But if you start to destruct someone's character, someone's self-esteem, someone's belief in themselves, someone's dominant strength within, their mental awareness, then maybe someone has an edge. Because let's just put it this way, the God of creation is way better of a chess player than the God of destruction. But see, this is how it works. You go to actually set up the game, and God is like, I've got this in the bag because I'm creating it all. And the God of destruction says, there's no way I'm going to win. There's no way I'm going to win against God. And so instead of playing fair, a game of chess, the God of destruction looks across and starts to make fun of your shirt. What an ugly shirt. What ugly hair. Why are your eyebrows so big? What? Why is your nose so big? What's wrong with you? Why are you breathing like that? Character. Attacking your character. Okay? And this is how it works. The greatest fear of some of the best teachers I have met is to put themselves out there. I know 3 coaches right now that have amazing bodies of work that they're ready to put online, but they are worried about looking like a fraud because they're not in perfect shape, or someone's going to be better than them, or what if there's already people doing this, and who cares about my story? All you did, you're going up against the 5Ds here, and you're going to. If you're on a spiritual journey, you're going to end up here somehow, hopefully. And then you're going to be like, what the hell do I need a healing journey for? What the hell do I need a spiritual journey for? I'm God. Let's just be God. Let's just be in the presence of, as, and do what we are inspired to do through that higher mind, instead of do what we are wanting, inspired in doing from our lower mind, frequency of satisfied, is all done. Look at ice cubes, okay? Ice cubes are the shape of whatever they froze in. This is manifestation. Ice cubes are your manifestation, which means whatever is inside of you creates the shape, and then the solid matter that you're witnessing is the ice cube. So if you are in lack inside, your ice cubes are in the shape of lack. No one is pushing lack on you. Lack is taking form from what you believe. It takes a while to get ice to freeze, doesn't it? Which means that when you're creating reality, it takes a while to harden, firm up the ice. Look at affirmations. Firm. It's firming up. So the more you affirm something, the more you are turning the flow of water, which is spirit, that came from particles of gas, which is God, into solid matter, which doesn't happen instantly unless all 75 trillion cells say I am. If there's opposition inside of here, you're gonna have a freezer that doesn't freeze all the way, and it's gonna look like nothing. So if you want your manifestations to take form and get firm, then your affirmations must be more dominant, more consistent. You've got to disciple and be disciplined, same word, off of the God imagination within, which means when you go to imagine thyself as God, you are imagining it's all done. And I'm getting ready to take my, I have a paid Facebook group, and it is called Quantum, so many groups, Quantum Metamorphosis Journey. It's a paid Facebook group. It's like, right now it's really small, like 25 people. And in that group, I am giving them major biohacks for this last leg of the journey that we're on here. So I'm going to be this next Wednesday teaching them how to do proper God imagination imagineering, which means how do I imagine from my God consciousness who I am, so I can begin through feelings and downloading into the cells, teach this cellular body, this muscle memory, who I am as God. Because a lot of times when you're imagining the wish fulfilled, but the wish fulfilled is like you finally getting something that you need versus walking around in everything complete. It's a very different process. And I'm going to really spend time making sure that each student in there understands who they are as that God within, and is spending a good 15 minutes a day discipling from that level of consciousness, so that when the 5Ds show up, you can stand in your affirmation and pull from that North Star, that GPS that I am, with a memory and a body memory now, because the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and real, that you're already living as if in your higher space, your heaven within. And very soon, if you hold your authority and you bring in the God power in your body as many hours of the day that you can, eventually your body will submit. Your body will submit. And as soon as your body submits to the God consciousness within you, guess what? Thy eye be single and the body will be filled with light, which means that you are commanding the entire universe, which is you inverse, look at the word, that you are. And therefore, through the blood that is electromagnetic within you, and the lymphatic system, which is the plasma of the universal fabric that builds worlds, you will be able to push a new world out of you. So what I've decided to do is, I dread TikTok and I dread these like shorts and stuff like that, because I can't talk for 2 minutes. But I decided to put myself on a very tight schedule and give you guys 40 days and 40 nights of 1 to 3 minute biohacks to get your body to submit to the God within in different ways throughout the days, in the triggers, in the stillness, in the nights, in the days, and little tiny biohacks that you can do throughout the day to create firmness, okay? That ice into the shape of I am God. This is something I've been working on for a year and hasn't been easy. So luckily for you guys, the stuff that didn't work, I'm not teaching you. I'm going to give you the stuff that I had the biggest quantum leaps with. I'm going to give you the things that I saw the most movement in my physical body. I'm going to give you all of my cheat codes in a very short way. And ultimately, we have a very big program that is literally the map, the treasure map of the Bible. We have a huge course coming up that I don't even know if it's called a course because it's big. And it is basically going to take you from I am not God to I am God and every single how and when in between, because those are your greatest questions. How and when. If you're saying how and when, you are speaking and channeling through I am not God, so I need one. If you are, it's already done, so why would I worry? Then you are channeling through I am God. So if you're going back and forth throughout the day, you're canceling yourself out and you're probably seeing nothing, or you're getting it and it's disappearing, or you're getting it and it's attacking you. 5Ds. See, you're great manifestors. You're manifesting all the time. If someone says you're not manifesting all the time, they're full of it. All the time, all the time, all the time. But depending on where you are channeling from, I am not God, I am, okay? You could be mathematically negative, positive, neutralizing yourself out, or positively creating casting characters and props that you desire in your virtual reality with underlying belief systems that I can't keep it, I don't have it, I fail, people leave me, I'm not chosen, I'm not good enough. So you manifest it and it disappears. So there is no devil that is after you. It's a chess game. And of course, as God, you want a challenge, you want opposition. Otherwise, how boring. Doesn't feel that way right now. I know a lot of my students are freaking out, but they have the tools. And so if you're looking for a community that is going through this last leg of the journey, I have created a Facebook group and it is $23 a month. And there is meditations in there. There are group discussions, which means everybody gets to coach in there and everybody gets to share. You can sit back and watch, but it's a lot of my advanced teachers in there already and students that have already had huge communities of their own. And we're coming together in this last leg of this journey to help assist each other in a fellowship. But there is also a lot of guided meditations. There's a lot of worksheets. There's tons of information in there already. And it's just a monthly, you can cancel anytime. We also do have a free Facebook group and it is called Quantum Revolution. And it is on Facebook, completely free. And I go live in there every Mondays and it's called Monday Mindset. And it is just lunchtime with me to just get your mind right for the week. Who am I? What am I doing? What are my intentions? Are my actions matching my desires? Am I keeping my word to myself? Am I on the right track? So that will be half hour every Monday. Plus there's all kinds of stuff in there, some webinars and things like that I've done over the years, tons of stuff in there. So if you don't want to pay for anything and you want the free group, it's Quantum Revolution. If you want a more structured fellowship with us, we have the Quantum Metamorphosis Journey group. And that is something you can find on Facebook too. And again, it is a paid group. So you would just follow the link once you get to that page. Or you can check it out in my link tree, which I will post in the description here. But guys, if you are having all hell break loose, or if you are having mental warfare right now, I am telling you, this is where the issue is, not out there. Because everything is pushed out of you to create your reality. So it's a projection reflection. You're projecting what is inside of you, and it is reflecting back to you. Every opposition, every delay, every divergence, everything that is happening to you is to show you where there is a negative belief, a core wound, some sort of old trauma that has built your self-concept behind your back that you are not aware of. Look at the biggest issue you have in your relationship. That is part of your core self-concept. That all needs to shift into unity. You'll find the last leg of the journey is the inner child who's healing from the parent within, or God and man becoming one. Woman, okay, whatever you want to say, doesn't matter. It all means womb man, just means man with womb, all right? It's not man, it's idea, okay? Manifestation, that's what man is short for. Manifestation of God. It's not like, oh, what about women? Guys, please, all right? Those are belief systems. The game just got easier. Even though the game feels harder, the game just got easier. Now, I do have a couple of brave souls that have signed up with me this year to do the Big Daddy mentorship, to allow me to walk side by side with them through their 40 days and 40 nights. And I'm really proud of you guys, the ones of you who have stepped forward and are choosing this, because I'm going to tell you right now, the hell that I went through, now that I'm getting on the other side of it, and it's like, oh my God, this is so easy. This is so easy, and it's so awesome. Yes, there's damage control. Yes, there's things to shift and change and clean up in my life, but hello? The only reason why things ever fell apart or weren't fantastic is because I was in opposition of my own truth. That's it. Yes. And we go through the resurrection, right? And become deliberate creators. You hear all the time, I create my reality, I create my reality. How many of you really, truly are creating your whole reality as if time and space and money and age were not an issue? I'm going to show you guys in the 40 days and 40 nights how to get your body to become whatever you say it is. All right. So if you want to lose weight, if you want to do things, like, it's more about your higher self. Like, are you in your higher self's body? Do you feel the strength of your higher self? Do you feel the God consciousness walking around? Or are you hiding and hungry or achy, right? You guys, it's all the body. You cannot study your way anywhere here. It is a embodiment. It is a day-by-day presence. It is a getting the body to submit to the God within at every day, at every cost, at every hour. It is not just affirm, because if you keep affirming, that goes against a root belief system, then what you're doing is you're calling the 5Ds to come talk to you, which is the devil. This is why whenever you level up, guys, you feel like you're attacked, or you can't get to the finish line, or the bottom falls out, or whatever, because you got to the finish line, but the finish line is not the finish line. The finish line gets you to your greatest opposition, which is your deepest core root belief systems. I am not, and there's a face-off. So if you are in this face-off and you are ready for some help, nothing wrong with asking for help. Where I got to with this was about a month and a half, before I figured what was going on out myself. I kept waking up thinking 40 days and 40 nights. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I haven't studied that part of the Bible. And so I go and look, and I'm like, wow, he was really going through hell. And then I thought, wait a second, why is he going through hell? He's Jesus. Why is he having to go through these trials? Because he has to get his body to submit. Guys, this is quantum biology. The cocoon is the epigenetic world we must create. The heaven that we create in our imagination will be birthed out of us if we stay consistent, resilient, and dominant. Dominant with the authority that I am. Using the word Jesus Christ, which means I choose my own salvation. This is what we came for. If you can't go out and live in the 3D world anymore because it's just too ridiculous, then you're probably ready for this. But if you're facing your 5Ds, that's all you're facing. So join us in the fellowship, or if you're really, really, really brave, reach out to me and I will hold your hand and walk through this with you. I will go through your 40 days and 40 nights, which I will tell you takes anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, depending on how much core damage you have from childhood. I'm sorry, it's true. And how crazy your life is. Some people need 3 months, some people need 6 months, but most people just need the steps, the tools, and the accountability at this point, as well as the fellowship, as well as knowing that we are in this together and that you are not alone. Imagine how alone Jesus felt for 40 days and 40 nights. I know I have so much compassion for that because I've never had a coach. So I know. So therefore, I have the biohacks and the cheat codes. And that's why I'm going to do very fast little shorts of getting the body to submit, getting the body to submit. It's going to be called the 40 Days and 40 Nights series. It's going to be found on TikTok. It's going to be on Instagram, and it's going to be on YouTube Shorts. So check my channels. It's just my name. If you look up my name, that's how you find me on Instagram. That's how you find me on Facebook. But the groups are, the paid group is called Quantum Metamorphosis Journey Group, and that is the paid Facebook group, $23 for the month. You get everything that's in there. There's already so much in there, I can't even tell you. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of content all about this, and worksheets and guided meditations and guided hypnosises to help you biohack through this quicker, that are all based in the theory that I'm giving you today. All right. If you want to just go chill out with the free group and get some other sessions with me, I'll do Q&As in there, things like that. That is Quantum Revolution group on Facebook. Or if I have got room, reach out and friend request me. Do get a lot of emails every day, so I'm not really great at responding to the messenger. But if you email me or friend request me with a note that you're interested in something, I usually can figure out, or a team member can help me get to you. I will leave my personal email for those of you who want to journey with me, and I will give you the group names in the description. But otherwise, take this to heart, guys, and really sit back and look at your reality and decide if you're really going to go for this I am, then you're going to face the 5 Ds. And you're going to go through your 40 days and your 40 nights. But guess what? It doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be painful, especially if you know what's coming, if you know why that person's attacking you, if you know why this situation's happening, if you know why you're not able to manifest money. If you understand that, it gives you confidence and power. If you don't, you feel like you're doing something wrong. I've known people literally who are walking away from this spiritual journey altogether and going and getting real jobs after 20 years in the field. Because it is that hard if you don't know what the heck is going on. So hopefully this brought you some peace. Hopefully this put together some pieces for you. And look at your affirmations, at what you're firming up. Now, when you are affirming I am, but then you're saying I am not, that's also an affirmation, guys. So keep your word to yourself. Your inner child can't heal if you do not keep your word to yourself. If you are not consistent, the inner child doesn't feel safe. Discipline means disciple. It's time to disciple off of the God consciousness within and begin and complete the journey so we can walk around here like gods and live on heaven and earth, which won't look anything like what you see right now because it's you pushed out. It's what you say. It's literally this possible. There are hundreds of thousands of people living as Christ on the planet right now. You probably won't see them on a TikTok video. But if you are a vibrational match to their energy, then you will be in the presence of them and you will feel it. It's not a sales pitch for that. This is where we're heading, guys. So one step at a time, at least you know now. To get to 5D, you have to face the 5 Ds. And you will go through 40 days and 40 nights, but it's not, that's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. It's a trial. It's the last leg of the journey. You've gotten to the end, you've got to the finish line, and now you stand in your state of being, regardless of the circumstances. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I made this video because I had so many people reaching out over the last few months about just their affirmations and all hell breaking out and mental warfare that they're facing. And so I thought that this would be an opportunity for me to share what I am teaching in my groups, in my non-duality masterclass this year, and what we've been working on for a very long time in our academy. And hopefully you get something out of it. Otherwise, just, subscribe, share the video. If it's not for you, maybe it's for someone else. And we all appreciate every ounce of work that you're doing, because every raise in consciousness is a better world for our kids, our grandkids. And so it is worth it to keep going.